What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Join Ninja Nation. It's my birthday. If you were holding off subscribing, now's a good time to do it. What a great birthday present. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Cal Quantrill, who had 3 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs. He picked up Ks on his fastball, splitter, and cutter, and also made this outstanding play when his glove got knocked off on this ball right through the box, chasing it down with no glove and throwing a shovel pass to first base. Excellent creativity. He faced Brady Singer, who had 4 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 4 runs, and had this painted 2-seamer, got a sword on this sinker, and had this dirty slider. Jordan Montgomery had a solid outing with 8 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up only 1 run. He had this fastball as well as these changeups and curveballs. And he battled Cutter Crawford, who was also really good, with 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up 2 runs and had no walks. He dominated with his fastballs and also worked in this slider. Michael Wacha had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 2 earned runs, and had this fastball and changeup. And he outdueled Ty Block, who had 3 Ks in 3 2/3 innings, but gave up 7 runs. Block had this elevated fastball and this curveball for a sword. Justin Verlander had 5 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. He had this wicked back foot slider. And don't just take my word for it, Roger Clemens was also very impressed, and had this curveball and changeup. He battled John Means, who had 1 K in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run, and he picked up that K on this fastball at the knees. Lance Lynn had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. He picked up most of his Ks on heaters, but also worked in this slider. I didn't see any major F-bombs or anything, so I gotta admit I'm a little disappointed. Lynn outdueled Eduardo Rodriguez, who had 1 K in 3 innings, giving up 5 runs, and got his K on this paintish fastball. Jose Butto had 6 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 1 run, and picked up most of his Ks on these fastballs. He battled Edward Cabrera, who I thought looked really good, with 4 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings, giving up 1 run. Cabrera's power changeup was almost unhittable. His changeup topped out at 95 miles an hour. And here's a look at his release in slow motion of a 94-mile-an-hour changeup. And you can see how those 2 seams really provide the movement. And also, here's an ISO view of a 93-mile-an-hour changeup, and you can see even though it's 93 miles an hour, he can still get an early swing on it. Now, Cabrera was more than just changeups. He also picked up Ks on his slider and curveball. And I got asked on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it now, why did Alonso take this slider down the middle? Aren't hitters trained to swing at pitches down the middle? Well, they are, but here's an overlay that shows you why it's not that easy. The pitch before was an elevated 99-mile-an-hour heater that Alonso took out of the zone. And Cabrera follows that heater up with this slider that tunnels perfectly. So Alonso thought he was getting another elevated heater, but instead got that slider and was frozen like a statue. That is the power of sequencing and tunneling. Connor Phillips was really good yesterday with 7 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up only 2 runs. He had these upper 90s fastballs touching 98 miles an hour and picked up a sword on his fastball, and also picked up a sword on his cutter, and then had this slider for a K and got absolutely fired up. I love it. He faced Joe Ryan, who had 5 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 runs. Not a great outing for Ryan, who did have these painted fastballs as well as this splitter. Zack Wheeler had 5 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run. He picked up most of his Ks on these overpowering fastballs, but also had this sweeper that broke 16 inches. Absolutely filthy. And he faced Kyle Wright, who had 5 Ks in 4 innings, giving up 4 runs. But I thought there were some bright spots for Kyle. I thought his curveballs looked really sharp. And Wright's still trying to get back in the swing of things after that extended IL stint. So I'd say this was slightly positive for Wright. Brian Wu had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up no runs, and had these fastballs and cutter, and got fired up after his 6th strikeout. I wonder if he says woo when he gets fired up. He battled J.P. Sears, who had 6 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, but gave up 4 runs and had this fastball for a sword and this sweeper. Mike Clevinger was outstanding yesterday with 7 strikeouts and a complete game 1-run impressive outing. He mowed down hitters with his fastball to touch 97, his changeup, as well as his slider and cutter combo, and finished off his complete game with this slider. This game also featured some drama with Dom Smith. where Clevinger was one pitch away from a complete game shutout, Dom Smith hit a bomb and took his good sweet time running the bases, which apparently offended Clevinger. Dom Smith said he just wanted to understand what Clevinger was saying. I'll tell you, if you can read lips, he was definitely saying, "F*** you," while also pointing to the scoreboard. Anyway, cooler heads prevailed, no punches were thrown, and Clevinger did end up with his complete game, albeit not a shutout. Clevinger outdueled Jan Adone, who had 5 Ks in 5 innings, but also gave up 5 runs, and picked up Ks on his fastballs, changeup, and curveball. Freddie Peralta had 6 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 1 run. He picked up Ks on his fastballs, including this one at the knees, as well as these sliders, and got pulled after the 6th inning on only 86 pitches, which kind of pisses me off, because I needed him for 1 more K to win my K-prop parlay. Like, come on, couldn't you go 1 more inning? Anyway, Peralta battled yesterday's filthiest pitcher of the day, Adam Wainwright. Wainwright had 3 Ks over 7 scoreless innings, and picked up Ks on his sinker and cutter. Now, his stuff may not have been the filthiest of any pitcher yesterday, but this was Wainwright's 200th win. And I know he's wanted it so bad, so I'm going to give him the filthiest pitcher of the day, just out of respect. You can see how much the 200th win meant to him when he greeted the crowd after the game. And in his interview after the game.
You want to sit with me now, bud? Okay, that's good. I want you to sit. Oh, thank you.
I love his son crawling all over him. And then he ends up under the table. That picture is like a Norman Rockwell painting, and it probably deserves to be in Cooperstown. I also loved how he talked in the press conference about how teammate support meant all the world to him.
Teammate would text me, "Hey, we believe in you. We know you're going to finish strong, and you're going to help us win games." You know what that does for your mind? That's an incredibly powerful thing, and there's an incredible group of guys in that clubhouse that have helped me right along the way, and there's just no doubt that, you know, I'm living prayer to prayer out there, you know, not even pitch to pitch, just prayer to prayer.
I think sometimes we think these players are robots, and these little things mean a lot. He also talked about his 9-pitch at bat against Rowdy Tellez.
And I knew I had some different things to show him. He'd not seen me drop down at all. He's not seen me with different angles. You know, I used to pitch him in quite a bit and then down and away some, but always curving. But and see, we can talk about scouting reports now because I don't even care anymore. I'll never face Rowdy Tellez again.
You can tell how much this win meant to Wilson Contreras, too.
I'm proud of him because I know he's doing his best, and that showed me how much he loves this team and how much he loves this city.
Congrats to Adam Wainwright. Now onto my filthiest relievers. Ynier Cano had this wicked changeup. Adam Ottavino had these fastballs. Jackson Kowar had this changeup and fastball. Hector Neris had this filth and then got absolutely fired up.
Got him! Throws them all, Hector Neris. He's fired up.
Gregory Soto had these sliders and swords. A.J. Puck had this heater. Reynaldo Lopez had this diesel. David Robertson had this cutter off the plate, as well as this nasty slider. Ryan Helsley closed out the game for Waino's 200th win with these sliders. Chris Martin had this fastball and splitter. Josh Winkowski had this slider, fastball, and cutter. Joe Kelly had this sick stuff with this slider and these fastballs, including this 101 that was at the top of the zone and somehow called the ball. And he also had this filthy changeup. And my filthiest reliever of the day was Abner Uribe for this complete filth. He had this 99-mile-an-hour two-seamer at the top of the zone, this 103 that was somehow fouled off, as well as these sliders. And I'll tell you, if you can get a jump back on a slider that is in the middle of the strike zone, that is completely ridiculous. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. This may be the most over-the-top home run celebration of all time. Absolutely epic. What is up, everybody? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. I'm going to start out with Christopher Sanchez for 4Ks or more, then take Logan Allen for 5Ks or more, and top it off with Kenta Maeda for 6Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?